Europe. So let's go through this presentation where basically I will try to introduce the company and the products and then speak about the different business models that we can offer. As an executive summary, Hakilon designs, manufactures and sells ORCs, solutions, and we are focusing on our standard range, that is 500 kilowatts, 1 megawatt and 2 megawatt modules. And we are targeting two main markets. The first one will be the energy efficiency, that will basically address all the recovery of industrial heat and the engines heat. So we are in a cement event, and here basically that's the two main heat sources that we are working on several projects, recovering the heat from the plants and recovering the heat from the stationary engines. We have another application that is a biomass power plants, that is more maybe targeting more the highland needs in Caribbean or in Asia. And a part of this standard range of products, we have a tailored solutions to address different sizes and to address different temperature range. Briefly, Hakilon is a young company that was started in 2009. For the 4 or 5 first years, we had R&D, and the first system was installed in 2013. We started sales last year, so it's quite recent. We are 17 employees. Our offices and headquarters are in Paris area. We opened a branch office in Casablanca, Morocco earlier this year. We are going to open an office in Miami to cover the Caribbean and the Latin American countries. And an office is scheduled to be opened early next year in Asia. Hakilon is a multi-awarded company for its technology, for the innovation, as well as in the turbines and in the cycle. Just to give a few words, at the beginning, Hakilon was focusing on the design and conception of turbines. We even developed a specific software to help designing and testing turbines. And then we made our ORC. So I will not get through all the process of what is an ORC. I think you got a lot of lectures already about that. But basically what is interesting here is that the data of this part, of the incoming heat, will have, of course, a role on the design of the ORC. And one of these will be maybe the working fluid. So we have heard about many different statements about the fluids. I think there is no perfect working fluid today, but different fluids that can have very interesting characteristics depending on the heat source that we are addressing. So at Hakilon, we use different fluids depending on the temperature, depending on the project itself. Just a few words. If we go to the GWP, the global warming potential, all these hydrocarbons and siloxanes are very good. We are in a 3 to 20 range, when the refrigerants will be like 800 or 1000. The inconvenience will be flammability or not. And here again, depending on the local regulations and on the project and what is expected by the customer, we will select one or other of these fluids. So here is our standard range addressing this industrial waste heat and internal combustion engines and biomass power plants. We are working here at high temperatures, typically 270 up to 330 degrees Celsius. And here is the tailored solutions that we are able to address with lower temperatures to address other markets like geothermal, industrial process heat or solar. We propose our ORC modules alone, as you can see here. So we will see later, but all our products are based on, I shouldn't say containers, because of course here is a container, but below it's let's say an ISO frame that is either 40 feet or 20 feet, so very easy to transport and to install. But we can also address complete power plants like the one we see here, recovering the heat from the stationary engines. So for symmetry, this is typically what we can do, recovering the heat. So it's a very basic drawing, but just to show that, yeah, we're recovering the heat of the plant, having electricity, depending on the projects we may need or not to use the heat from the condenser. And we are doing exactly the same for the stationary engines. Cement industry uses a lot of diesel engines or heavy fuel engines, and we can here again recover the heat of this engine. So this is our 1 megawatt module. So it's based on two 40 feet container, and our 2000 kilowatts module, the 2 megawatts module. You can find here the two 40 feet containers plus two 20 feet containers. So here are the kind of installations we do. So this was made for a specific project. You can see here the heat exchanger with its bypass. You can see here how we address this engines heat recovery solutions. You can see here the containers for the ORCs, and of course the cooling solution here. So the business models we offer are both highly flexible and basically, as mentioned, we can offer the ORC alone or the ORC complete solution through a direct sale. So in this case, of course, we'll try to have the best optimized CapEx and OpEx for the customer because it's an investment. And our scope of supply will go from the preliminary studies to the equipment, installation, commissioning, and the maintenance. So we can offer this total turnkey solution for the customer. We also work with some partners that maybe are interested in getting only the module and the maintenance and doing the rest. So here again, we are quite flexible. And we propose also, if the customer does not want to invest, we propose this totally financial solution. What we do here is that we create a SPV, special purpose vehicle, in which of course Aquilon will be a partner. The customer can be a partner or not, it's his choice. To be very honest, the financial partners will prefer that the customer enters into this SPV, even if it's for a single share. And then we have the institutionals and the other investors. So this SPV will take the risk, will buy the equipment, will take in charge the OpEx, and will share the benefits, of course. The SPV will buy from Aquilon the products and the maintenance. Banks will finance the debt, and the customer here will provide, of course, the heat and will buy the electricity from the SPV. So this is an example. We have other models where there is no PPA, but we will share this electricity benefit. And here again, the main idea is not only to avoid direct sales, to get rid of these 3 years payback time that sometimes is an obstacle for the industrials. But here again, the idea is to allow the user to have a heat recovery project with a zero capex, zero opex solution. And of course, we will help him to go through all the needed processes to avoid consolidation of this project in his accounts. Typically, so far we have been requested for PPAs between 7 and 10 years. We will be glad to have longer periods, of course. The price of the electricity is negotiated over the period, usually indexed on the grid price or on the fuel price. Here again, we are quite flexible. Depending on the countries, the price of the electricity will be 5 to 30% lower than from the grid, or the cost of the electricity that you can have through engines. Of course, this depends on the price of the electricity. If we are in countries like Europe, it will be more like 5–10% below the grid. If we are in places where the electricity is very expensive, we can offer, of course, better pricing. Also, because all the industries, and maybe specifically cemetery, we never know what will be tomorrow. We also offer the possibility to have a kind of threshold fee that goes down up to 40% of the nominal monthly fee that could be the equivalent of when you buy the electricity at nominal value. For the different reasons is that if you have changes in your heat, the heat you supply to the SPD, then you can adapt. Of course, the ORC will produce less electricity, but if it goes down lower than a certain amount, then we will keep this monthly threshold fee. The same way, if there is a stop in the activity, this is a way to limit the losses in the case of stopping the activity. So this is again one example of what we offer, of what we can do to help the customer to feel comfortable with a financial solution. But it's not limited to what you see here. Every project is different, and we are ready to discuss about all these issues, of course. At the end of the PPA, we offer typically 3 solutions. The PPA contract is not renewed, and then we take back all the equipment, including the heat exchangers, and we stop here. We accept, of course, the PPA to be renewed, and in this case, typically it's like 5 years renewal. And there is another possibility, is that at the end of the contract, or at the end of the renewal period, the customer can purchase the equipment at an agreed pricing. So these are some examples. Of course, every project is different because every country is different also. Just to give you an idea, the last quotation I did for a 2 megawatt solution, it was not for a cemetery, it was for a glass industry company. But basically the pricing will be similar. It was like 4.5 million euro for a turnkey solution installed and commissioned. And depending on the electricity, we see here another example where for 800 kilowatts net electrical, we get a 4-year payback time with a power at 100 euro per megawatt. So this just gives you an idea, depending on the country and the pricing, you can see the kind of payback time that we can expect here. Another solution here with the recovery on stationary engines. This is typically the payback time we got on this project. So it's not something universal because pricings of electricity and diesel are different country by country, but this gives you an idea of the solutions we can offer. Thank you very much for your attention, and if there is any question.